Hello, welcome fam to another episode of Generational Chats, conversation between my mom and I. My mom is 73 years old and is considered a baby boomer from the baby boomer generation, and I am 33 years old, so I'm considered just at the beginning of the millennial generation. And we decided to have this series so that you can see, particularly people from the community of Cape Town, South Africa, that you can have very constructive conversations about different topics of life, and they can be more open, and we can really just learn from each other instead of just focusing on what the differences are, and that does really help to grow our relationship. So now you know why we're having these conversations. So today's topic is motherhood, and of course, with us quarantining, this is being shot on in January. It feels like the millionth day of quarantine, lockdown in Cape Town. But we found having honest conversations, even before this, has really helped to strengthen our relationship. What do you think, Mom? Definitely.
Yes, and some of the things I could laugh at.
Yeah, there's been some weird.
It sounded ancient.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's helpful.
So we're going to start the conversation on motherhood, and the first question I thought I'd pose to you, Mom, is before you became a mother, what were your ideas of motherhood, either from what you've seen or what you decided it is?
I can say that I was sort of prepared for motherhood because of my nursing background. So I've learned a lot through my nursing experiences. So it helped me make decisions with how I should prepare myself to be a mother. So I thought I was prepared to be a mother.
Okay. I think I'm considered, particularly in our community, like old to not have even like been married yet. I haven't been married yet, and I don't have any kids, and some people have a lot of kids out of wedlock. We're not judging that, but it happens very commonly in our community, and I think in the world in general. I've really always taken like parenting very seriously. I think just because I was raised in a single parent home, and I saw like all the pressures of being a single parent, and the care that it takes to raise kids, and also the stress that it can cause. Because I have two older brothers, so like I could see the difference between my mother parenting boys and parenting a girl. And I think it also comes down to temperament, but definitely the difference there. So I've always respected parenthood, and I was like, I will never have a child by accident. It's not gonna happen to me. So I really have a lot of respect for parenting in general, but particularly for mothers, just because like in our community, there's so many single parent homes where it's a mother that's the head of the home. Or when it's like there's a divorce, then the mother usually takes the bulk of the parenting on. So I've always respected motherhood in that way. Yeah, that's my opinion. And then my grand died when I was 8 years old. Yes, thanks for reminding me. And she was how old, Mom?
77.
She was 77. So how did you experience, if you had to describe, Oma as a mom? Oma, just another word for grandma, like we say in Cape Town. Yeah. How would you just say it? How would you say you experienced her as a mother? How would you describe her?
In my view, it wasn't easy for her to be a mother because the first two children were very close. My sister and I was very close.
Looking
at you.
It's fine, you can look there.
So we were close, and I remember I think it was a funny thing. When we were so close that when she puts us in the pram, or this push cart, or I think you called it a pram at that time, when we were little, that is what my mom told me, that people asked if we were twins.
And we were like a year apart.
Yes.
Yeah, and you look so similar.
And then she would just quickly ra- walk off with the pram, pushing the pram faster,
No,
because
it's an
to avoid
awkward
the
question.
questions. Yeah, it's an awkward thing when in those days your children were so close that they were both either on napkins, or they were both toddlers, or they were in the same, almost in the same stages at the time. So that's what she told me, because I was very nosy.
You asked lots of questions, okay. Yeah.
So I would not think it was easy for her to be a mom, because she, I think when we were little, she was a stay-at-home mom. And if she had to go somewhere, it's not handing the children over to anybody. She
Yeah.
must take the children with her.
So not lots of support and like people willing to babysit, you mean? Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. And her as a mother, like what was her temperament like? How would you describe her? Was she very strict? Was she very gentle?
I don't
quiet?
remember that she was very, never raised her voice.
Yeah.
Maybe firm in a decision making of we must do certain things, but there isn't a memory of harshness and rigidness, or
Okay.
she was a
That's
very
really sweet.
passive mom.
Yeah. I think just to give also a little context, my mom was very open up with me that her father was abusive. So my mom's mom was dealing with a lot. Other than working as a domestic, she was also having to sort of like navigate an abusive home. I don't Yeah, so just to give you a little context and to be totally honest with you about my mom's upbringing, that was a dynamic in the home. But even experienced my gran, I hadn't grown up with her much. I think she passed when I was 8, so she was home with me until I went to preschool, or creche as we call it, as well in South Africa, and then I went to school. So even when I experienced her, she was like how my mom describes her, very gentle. And of course, when someone's your grandparent, like they even spoil you a little. Like my grandmother used to like call me aside like after supper and say, "Tina, come have sweets. Come have sweets." And like I knew why she was calling me. Sometimes she didn't have to say, "Come have sweets." She was just like, come to the room. And then you just like hear the rustling happen and the secret packets coming out. And like I was the only one called. So it was really a sweet memory, and I used to bake a lot with my gran. So yeah, really gentle woman. My memories weren't very clear of her, but that's what I remember. And mom, I'm going to answer the question on you. How do I experience you as a parent? Like if I think it's also like I'm answering this question sort of like comparing to other homes in a way. But my mom, I think when I was younger, she was very particular with how everything is. She still, to an extent, is, but she's also relaxed a lot. My mom, I used to like comment on like she has like a bit of OCD because like she was like very, because of I think also a nursing background, she learned so much about like hygiene and like having separate cloths for things, and like making sure that there's not much clutter and all that type of things. She was very intense about that, and it's something that I paid so much attention to just because I'm not opposite, but I'm not as intense about like domestic things. I'm very like a creative person, so I'm mostly, to be honest, in my head, and like I don't want things to be dirty, but I'm not so reactive when like every morning clean this time and this has to be so strict. So there was a bit of tension, I think, with me and my mom when I was growing up, because like she always had to remind me to like be tidier and like to do this thing. Do you remember that? Like a little bit? Yeah. Is it an accurate way to describe it? Like you had
Yes,
to remind me a
I
lot.
tried very hard to encourage you to be tidy and to clean up after yourself. Like, don't leave the cloth hanging on the
Yeah.
edge of the basin.
And it's pretty normal though, like for a parent to have to do that, yeah. But I think my mom's like she's relaxed a lot. I think also as you get older, you realize it's like it's not that important. It's nice to have a tidy and clean home, and of course, so that your family stays healthy, of course. But yeah, my mom is definitely relaxed a lot. I think when I was younger, I was like, I had a healthy fear for my mother. Healthy. So my mother wasn't someone who would hit me. Like it would be like a random one, like just like to get my attention sometimes, but it was never as like a punishment. Like, some kids get pulled aside and then they get like, a smack on the face sometimes in public or behind closed doors. My mother was never that way, but my mother could give me this look, and like I knew what the look meant, and the look, it punished me inside, like I felt so bad that it's almost like maybe I should rather get a hiding instead, like a beating instead, because I would maybe just, then at least like it's over, like that was like an internal sting. So like I in a way like I appreciated that, but it made me watchful of my own behavior. Like, to be honest, it was like, even if my mom wasn't there, I knew when I was not doing something right. I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna get a look for this, so I think I should like correct this behavior. I don't think I've ever described it to you that way before, have I? So like my mother would never like hit me, but that's how she would keep me in check.
I don't think you ever had a hiding.
Yeah, but we were also very close. Like I would go everywhere with my mother, everywhere. Like to the extent when I wasn't with my mom, people would ask, "Where's Tina? Where's Tina? Why is Tina not here?" Like when I was small, because I'm quite a tall person. To those of you that didn't notice, my mother used to put me in the boot because she would remove the covering from the car we had, and I would be in the boot of the car, and she had to pick up her friends. Then they would be of course in the main seats, and I would be in the boot when I was small. And I think it was up until like I was like 9, and then I got too tall, and then they had to either I had to sit on someone's I had to sit on someone's lap.
No, and you didn't like that.
I didn't like that. Yeah, I'm very about like space, so I don't like people who I don't know or I'm not used to like touching me or like too close. So my mom knew that. Anyway, that's like a whole different story. Yeah, but my mom knew that about me. She knew like I need my space and stuff. So we always used to be together. So my mom and I had a very close relationship, and I think from a young age she would listen to me, but of course not everything, like take it seriously. But yeah, that's how I experienced my mom. So we had a very close relationship. What do you think about how you see people mothering today? Like what is your opinion of like mothers today as you see them, how they take care of their kids, how they handle work and family life? Do you have any opinions?
Not really, because at the moment it's from a distance that I see that happening, and it's not people that I know very intimately. So how people mothers are raising their children these days is actually, I don't even think I have the right to comment on that, because there are mothers who are raising their children in confined spaces.
Yes.
Like a mother, I just have this thing in my memory of a mother who has to raise 3 children in a small space. They only have 2 rooms. So I didn't have that experience. My children had space from the beginning. They were never they were always having their own rooms, and though they interact at some stage of the day, each one had their own room, each one slept in their own bed. And when I see nowadays, these children are raised in a confined space, small rooms, sharing beds, and no way that they can give expression to play. That there are limited rules around them where to play. It seems as if they don't have play spaces. Um, and we in a complex now, and it's very restrictive raising children in a space like this. Um, it's a sad thing. For me, it's not even easy to talk about it because I don't want to see just the problem. We need to come to a solution, or we be willing to give our opinion of what the solution is to that. At one stage, that your boys need space and they need to be able to kick ball, and so if you don't take them out to parks, you need to find a home where you can move to and give these children space. That they are very frustrated when it's time to come inside, and
Space
they
makes such a
haven't
difference.
they haven't had the opportunity to express themselves yet. All day they are told not to play here on this level or in that space, and
Yeah,
so raising children, you have to consider spaces and
absolutely.
places to play.
I think it's when I think about modern motherhood, because I'm not a mother yet, but I'd love to be one day. I sort of worrying about the social media parts as well, because as much as like you want to introduce kids to technology sometime, like because they have to, because it's going to be part of their life, I'm really worried about that, and like how much to expose them to, and like how to protect them from the curiosity. And then yeah, because life is getting more expensive, like you say, like everybody can't always afford lots of space, but then we have to consider like the realities of how the pandemic will affect our future, and how much freedom can kids actually have. Can they go to parks, like you say? If you only can afford like to live in an apartment block like we do, then will it be safe to go to parks and things like that? So that is, in a way, is a worry for me. I want to have peace about that, and know that God will um, provide a beautiful life when that development does happen in my life. But yeah, I think also both parents have to work these days as well. It's like not just one parent works. It's so your kids will be unsupervised sometimes, or you have to figure out how to do childcare at the same time, which is another expense other than like just making sure that they are nourished and clothed. So it's a lot to think about. But I think that's why community is important. Yeah, for sure. Okay, guys, so that's just like a few points that we wanted to chat about. We had this conversation just to show you like how open we are with one another. Did you feel good having this conversation,
Yeah,
Mom?
it's important, and I think we delayed it for so long that there are so many aspects of certain topics that um, affects our lives still today
Yeah.
that we haven't even touched.
Yeah. We speak about a lot of things. I've been open with my mom about a lot of things, and but there's so much more that we want to share with you guys. So please like and subscribe so that you can actually catch the next episode. We're going to see if we can do 2 topics a month. And then we'd love to hear from you. What is your relationship with your parents or with your mother? Do you find it easy to have open conversations, and to really like have patience with each other so that you can explain like your perspectives and point of view? That's something that we try to do with each other. So we hope that this inspires you to have conversation, and because we are realizing how important family and our immediate family is now, particularly in lockdown, I hope that you take this time to strengthen the relationships by having open conversations.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks, Mom.